everybody. Hi, AGS. I have to tell you all, I miss being in your stores, and I really miss having our human interactions together. So hopefully, before too long, we're all going to be back together in person. But in the meantime, I have been really excited to share a sneak peek of the Alfie Norville Gem and Mineral Museum with you all. Thank you for getting through the technical difficulties with us. Thankfully, I've had some really great help here at the museum in Selena and Jordan, who we're going to say hello to here in just a few minutes. But I just kind of want to give a little introduction for anybody who doesn't know me. I am Shelly Sergent from Somewhere in the Rainbow. We are a privately held gem and jewelry collection that bases in Arizona. And thankfully, we have had some really exciting times going on these last couple of years, prepping with the University of Arizona to become partners in this brand new state-of-the-art gem and mineral museum in Tucson. So when you guys come to the Tucson Gem Show, within walking distance or just a stone's throw, you're going to be able to find your way over to this museum. And due to AGS guilds and just some amazing people, you get to have a sneak peek. So you're going to be one of our first people that are coming in through the doors. And long before Tucson gets here, you're going to be well acclimated to our museum. So before I get started with the tour, I'd like to introduce you to Jordan. There's Jordan. Jordan is our communication. Yes, our guest service specialist. Sorry, everybody has titles that are really specific in the museum world or in the university world. Anyway, so Jordan came to us from Tiffany's. Yes. And tell us a little bit about you, Jordan.
So my background was mostly in retail jewelry sales. I was an AGS member when I worked for a local jewelry store in Canton, Ohio. So I do miss the organization and community, but after that opportunity, I was in sales with Tiffany & Company in Cleveland. And with the change of COVID, I watched all these webinars that were amazing and learned that a career path in museums was an actual possibility for someone working on their GG and eventual, hopefully, an AGS certification. So I applied to this amazing opportunity in Arizona, somehow amazingly got chosen for it. So I facilitate the docent and tour guide program. I'm also managing the front desk and everything that has to do with the guest experience. So we're excited to have you here.
And we're really excited that Jordan's going to come along because Jordan has some really fantastic insight into the museum being here on a day-to-day basis. But because she is our guest service specialist, I'm actually going to turn us around. You're on a utility cart with us. So I'm actually going to turn everybody around and kind of give you some views of Jordan's part of the world, which is right here in our entrance. And right behind me is a beautiful portrait. Can you all see this portrait? So this is Alfie Norville. When you walk in the door, she's kind of here. She's just here to greet you. And this is a beautiful painting that her husband Alan hung here in the museum. So Alfie and Alan Norville are very important to Tucson's gem history because they are the founders of the GJX show. So when you come to Tucson and you go into the tents, that is all Alan and Alfie Norville, who they didn't know anything at all about gemstones. Alfie was fascinated with the mineral people that used to come year after year to Tucson and set up all around the city. And so one day she went into Alan and she said, I think we should have a gem show to go along with all of these mineral shows that show up in Tucson. And he said, we don't know anything about gemstones. It's not in the business plan. The answer is no. So this happened for 2 more years that Alfie would go to Alan and Alan would tell her, not in our business plan. We don't know anything about gemstones. The answer is no. Well, on the 3rd year, Alfie walked in and set down a new business plan, her GIA certificate, and said, here's your new business plan. We're starting a gem show. And that's how the gem show, the GJX show, came to be in Tucson. So because of the vision of this woman behind me, we now have the playground that we all know and love as the Tucson Gem Show. So that's a little background about Alfie and the history there. As we move along, Jordan, I'm going to ask if you want to tell a little bit about, I'm hoping that we're going to be able to get to a place that you're going to be able to see this fantastically large and gorgeous crystal behind me. And I'm going to ask Jordan to give you a little history about this.
Absolutely. So as soon as the museum was announced that we would be open, this beautiful Arkansas quartz cluster was donated to us to be the fabulous opening piece that introduces you into our lobby. So this was donated by, I believe, John and Cheryl Anderson, one of the largest and finest quartz clusters to come from Arkansas. And we have two beautiful quartz pieces in our lobby to introduce our story as a museum. From our first gallery to our last, we tell a continuous story of minerals, their relationship with people, and the beautiful art that we interpret all of the science in and celebrate as jewelry. So we have a beautiful specimen made by Mother Nature. And then,
this is one of my favorites. Okay, how are we doing? Like, is this working okay?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Good. All right.
The image is nice and stable too.
We've not done this before. Okay, so I'm going to get us positioned here, and I'm going to have Jordan tell you a little about this absolutely spectacular piece standing there behind me.
So then we have Gems' art. So this was crafted by Tom Moonsteiner. It took 3 years to cut all of these quartz tiles. And
Jordan, can you move closer to the microphone, please?
sorry.
Thank you.
So this was crafted by Tom Moonsteiner, and there's a beautiful gradient from citrine to smoky quartz going back and forth. And this is actually the back side of the wall, but it's equally as beautiful on the front side. And as you walk around it, the quartz just reflects a beautiful rainbow. So right here in our lobby, we show the natural specimen and then man's interpretation, which is a lot of fun for us to celebrate.
And we also show somewhere in the rainbow right here with the Moonsteiners. So we're really, really excited about that. This is a really fantastic piece. Just to kind of give you an idea of its scale, it's taller than I am, which really isn't that hard to do. So we're getting ready to take you into the first gallery of the museum. And this gallery is actually based on the evolution of the Earth. In part of our mission in teaching is for people to go back to the very beginning of time, when a star somewhere blew up and became everything that we know today as far as in the world of minerals, man's interaction with minerals, the interpretation of minerals and man working together. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time in this gallery because it's really something that when you come, you're going to want time to take and just really visit this. But we can't get to the gem hall without getting through evolution. So we're going to start in the evolution gallery. And
for our guests, this gallery typically takes anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour just to get through because there's so much to see and so much information.
yeah, so just to give you guys an overview, this museum is 12,000 square feet. Okay, we are not sitting in a little place. And as we go through, I think that, you'll just see more and more. But yeah, so about an hour for this gallery would be pretty typical. So I'm going to just turn you around. I'm going to go slowly so that way you can kind of see some of our beautiful views from outside. You can see the courtyard behind me. I've got to go the other direction. You can see the courtyard behind me. The courtyard is available during special times of the year to actually be rented for special events. So there could be an AGS event right here in our courtyard. So just to kind of throw that out there. So here we're coming around to the very beginning of time. And Jordan, I'm going to ask you to give us a little brief history of what we're seeing in this showcase. Can you guys a little closer? Is that better? Are we getting better or worse?
We're kidding.
Better,
Better.
better,
Perfect.
better.
So this case introduces you to the concept of mineral evolution, which begins with all of the rocky planets sharing the same 50 to 60 primordial minerals. So this whole case, we have spinel, hematite, opal, corundum, and some quartz just right here on the shelf that you can see, along with 50 to 60 other minerals on this 10-foot case going across. So this just introduces you to everything that's in common with all the rocky planets. And then the second you leave this case, we explore why Earth is unique. Between the tectonic plates and the oceans and the volcanoes have all led to the now 5,600 to 6,000 minerals that we now have on our planet, with more being discovered each year. So as soon as we leave this, we get Earth specific, which is pretty amazing.
Okay, so keep in mind, I just want to come back to what Jordan just said. So we started with about 50 minerals, and now we have about 55,000.
5,600.
I'm sorry, 5,600 minerals, and most of that due to man's interaction with what began, right?
Well, the tectonic plates, just the Earth moving and how we've had oceans, volcanoes, mountains form, all the unique events that are specific to Earth that you don't see on Mars or Venus is what has made our planet so unique to have all of these minerals and gems.
Really cool, right? Okay, so here we go. Instead of going forward, I'm actually going to bring you backwards, and hopefully you won't let me run into anything. Mark, you got to navigate for me. So here we are, like we are just going to come through. We're seeing a lot more of the showcases. And as Jordan said, the showcases are 10 feet tall. They're beautifully crafted, and they are completely movable. So I'm going to bring you close. You might be able to see these wires, the cable that's running through. Every light can be adjusted to be very specific to what's happening in the showcase. All of the shelves move. So our goal is to change out the museum 20% every year. So with that being said, right, we have to have the opportunity to be able to be creative in the way that we set up the showcases. So that's another thing that I think that really sets our Gem and Mineral Museum apart from so many other museums is we are not confined. We have a wonderful open area. We have beautiful showcases that will lay out. You'll have video productions going on in some of our showcases that you'll see. So there's a lot of really exciting stuff that really sets our museum apart and was really very well thought out in the process. Okay, so we're going to keep going. And over here on the wall behind me, you're going to see this beautiful explosion of star explosion in outer space taking place. So this is some of the video content that you'll get to see as you travel throughout the evolution gallery. Isn't it pretty? Yeah, I just love this. And the wall right behind me actually starts with diamond and has a periodic timetable of the evolution of these minerals that goes all the way down, meteorite. Okay, so we're going to tell that whole story of space. And then right behind me is I think one of the most amazing, beautiful things in the museum, and that is the spinning globe. And I got to remember to go the opposite side. So here again, we really get to explore Mother Earth and the way that minerals and tectonic plates, right? We actually get to see a timetable, if you will, of how these things happened and how they appeared. And again, to give you an idea of scale, it's huge.
There's 4 different corridors that have specific tenets of the mineral evolution theory. So each wall here tells another part or another chapter of that theory, which is why it takes so long. Right here we have dynamic Earth, geology and biology, mineral diversity, and rock forming minerals, and it just goes on from there.
And I'm going to pull you in because this is actually one of my favorite mineral specimens in this hall. And I'm hoping we're going to be able to get in kind of close. I'm going to hopefully pick you up and not jilt you around too much. Isn't it beautiful? It's a beautiful piece of calcite. There we go. So these are just some of the beautiful specimens that are set up throughout the gallery. And then of course, there's actually, is it the stibnite?
Yes.
Yeah, so the stibnite that I'm actually going to pull you over to next. I actually posted this piece on Facebook a number of months ago, and it literally got shared, I want to say like 15,000 times or something. It was just crazy. So here is a beautiful, gorgeous stibnite crystal that's on loan from Dr. Rob Levinsky. And Rob has the Arkenstone Gallery in Texas. And guys, if you have questions, feel free to throw them out to us at any time. We don't have to wait until the very end. I'm happy to take your questions anytime as we're going through the galleries. And it obviously keeps conversation flowing as well. Jordan and I are pretty good at this, so we'll find our way back to the path. Go ahead.
The pegmatites have been fully populated and the labels are correct now.
Oh,
So
oh.
some nice gemmy minerals.
So this wall behind me, this is all Brazil, correct?
No, it's
No.
pegmatites from all over
Oh,
the
the
world.
Uni-
So yeah, we have United
States.
States, Brazil. Not sure what the third.
Again,
one
I'm going
is,
to
and then
pick you up and I'm
China.
going to kind of bring you along. So the United States,
We have tourmaline, beryl, kunzite,
quartz,
aquamarine.
beryl, look at this little gemmy baby down here. And I believe all of these are on loan. This is all Jean Myron's collection.
It's a mixture.
Oh,
Actually,
sorry, I lied.
Yeah. So I would say that the Brazil collection is all Jean Myron, but then over here, the Chinese pegmatites are a University of Arizona student. He had these minerals,
Oh, wow.
ironically, in his dorm. And the original person we had to populate this wasn't able to send them due to COVID. So it was very, very lucky that this student was in the geoscience program and knew the museum director, Eric Fritz. So, and these aren't even his best specimens. He has more at home that he wants to bring.
This is a dorm that I wanted to hang out in. I just want everybody to know that.
Pretty exceptional. Can you imagine being a college student and cracking up your minerals?
No, I can't. Okay, you're back on the cart and we're back on the move.
Shelly, what is the purple looking Y thing?
That's amethyst.
It's amethyst from Brazil.
Wow.
Isn't it great?
It's very interesting. Beautiful. Thank
I
you.
have to show you my favorite mineral in this case. So when I walked into the gallery and I saw this piece, I immediately went, oh my gosh, it's full of copper, but it's aquamarine, guys. Look at this color. It looks
On
like
our computer, it looks
tourmaline.
like period tourmaline.
It does. When you walk in the gallery, it's even brighter. It's just crazy. And I already told Eric that if that ever shows up missing, don't come looking for me. Let's see. Okay, Jordan, where should we go next?
I think we can start to transition to Arizona.
Okay, we're going to start transitioning you to the Sonoran Desert. So this is just a very quick overview. I'm just going to kind of walk you around here a little bit to give you a better idea again of the scale of this particular gallery. And then of course, there's another fabulous video that takes place here. So there's a lot of really great visual education that takes place in this gallery. And I hope that we've kind of given you an idea. Any questions before we leave the Gallery of Evolution? Going once, going twice. Everybody just wants to get to the good stuff. I know you guys, you just want to get to the gemstones. However, I have to stop at this wall because this is one of my favorite walls in the entire museum. And again, is it too bouncy when I pick you up and carry you along? Okay,
No,
good.
okay, stable.
I didn't have much coffee yet. I didn't have much coffee today, so this is good. So this wall is all hand painted art that was done in the 1800s.
In the 1920s.
Oh, sorry, 1920s. You don't want me to be your historian.
So the mining company Phelps Dodge commissioned an artist named William Davidson White, who was originally from Delaware. And he came out to Arizona, took pictures, did some sketches, and returned back home to the East Coast. And when he was done with all of these pictures, he actually just shipped them back out west. The rumor is he never returned to visit Arizona, and the museum joke is because he likely visited during the summer. So you can imagine with all these heavy clothes with the jeans and the long sleeves, it's like 112 degrees or hotter for these miners.
Aren't they gorgeous? I just love this wall, and it's big, like it just goes on and on and on. The painting is so beautiful. Now keep in mind that these are all part of the University of Arizona's collection that is more than 100 years old. So these paintings have actually been around with the museum for a long time, but they got lost in the old space. So thankfully Eric was able to make room for them here because they're a really fascinating part of Arizona's history and Arizona's mining, which leads us into another one of my favorite places in the museum, and that is the Sonoran Desert. So as we go into the Sonoran Desert Gallery, we're going to be talking and seeing a lot of Arizona and New Mexico, really for the most part, Arizona, New Mexico, some Mexico.
Arizona and Mexico.
Arizona,
yes.
Mexico. So we're going to start in with a favorite gem of everybody's, mineral gemstone, and that is going to be the beautiful world of turquoise. And again, here you're seeing that we have video that will tell you a lot about what you're seeing in the showcases. So not only do you have a visual aspect of the pieces themselves, but you actually have video that you can study. The content is all written out on the showcases and done in a way that it doesn't interfere with what's happening in the showcases themselves. So the pieces really do remain to be the stars of the show. So again, I'm just going to keep us kind of close. Actually, I'm not. I'm just going to pick you up. I'm going to carry you along because I think that it gives a really great view of a lot of things that you'll get to see when you come to the museum. And again, feel free to ask questions at any point. So Jordan, I'm going to ask you to tell us a little about where I'm going to stop right here.
So the gold rush in California ended pretty abruptly, and the miners came over to Arizona, hopefully looking for gold, and they did find some. We were lucky enough to receive an amazing donation from the Wells Fargo Gold Collection, which was originally the Bank of Arizona Gold Nugget Collection. So this arrangement was done in less than 24 hours. We had very little notice that this collection was available. And this largest nugget right here weighs 14.2 troy ounces. So it's a lovely heavy piece of gold, and it's actually inscribed by a jeweler. I'm not sure if we can see the actual inscription, but when they found it, they weighed it and immediately engraved the weight, which I think is pretty amazing.
That's very cool. So I have to tell you, our our exhibit manager, Elizabeth, I was actually going to ask her to come, but she's at home with a brand new baby. So she is responsible for just about everything that we see that is exhibited here in the museum. So we wish, Elizabeth and her new family all the best, but we're sorry she couldn't be here with you. Any questions so far?
How far is the museum from the Tucson AGTA show?
Quarter mile?
Yeah, it's
Maybe a quarter of a mile. So when you come to Tucson, I'm sure many of you have actually seen the beautiful building with the dome tile roof. And that is our museum. We take up the majority of the building. On the other side is the Arizona Visitor Center and the Pima County Heritage Museum,
Yep.
right? So those are just directly across from us at the courtyard. So when you come, you can actually go to the Visitor Center, which is really, really cool. It's really well done. You can see the Pima County Heritage Center, which actually shows that there has been life and, families living here in Pima County for
almost 1,000 years.
yeah, something like that, like 1,000 years or so. So anyway, it's a really just a very cool setting. We actually were going to start you outside today, and if we get a chance, when we start getting closed up, we might be able to sneak you guys outside so you can see the outside of the building. But from the convention center and from the GJX tents, you can actually see our building by the domed tile ceiling or roof. So, okay, here we go. And again, I'm going to bring you, this is a favorite in the museum. This is one of the first cases that were actually populated. And again, here we're talking about Bisbee, Arizona, right? This is where all of the magic happens for Arizona. This is where copper was found. Copper was definitely king, and this is what put Arizona on the map. But these showcases are so incredibly beautiful.
And these minerals were all collected in the late 1800s by the miners in Bisbee, and they thought they were too beautiful to melt down for copper. They donated them to their alma mater, which was Princeton at the time. It was the only mining engineering school in the United States. Princeton, lucky for us, decided to close their mineral museum and turn it into offices and asked if we wanted our rocks back. And we said, of course.
Do you want your rocks back? Yes.
Amazing difference in textures from the sparkle to the velvety.
In case you're all wondering what my favorites are, they're the sparkly ones. No one will be surprised to hear that. And look at this beautiful creature here. It looks like something you'd see under the sea. Are we liking so far? Are there any questions sitting out there? Okay, I'm moving on. So we have a gentleman who was kind of one of the grandfathers of Arizona mining. His name was Dick Graham. And sadly, we lost Dick a few months ago. But, and that always kind of makes me tear up a bit because he was just a really great guy. And I wish that I'd had more time to spend with him because he was a wealth of knowledge as well. But Dick, thankfully, before he passed, he was able to come and visit the museum, and he was able to see the work that was done, that he generously guided and donated. And that was the complete recreation of the stope, the mining stope for azurite malachite. And so I just want to show you this on the best scale that I can, but I have to tell you, it's not, you just cannot capture its beauty without being here to see this in person. So he's actually recreated the mine as we would have anticipated seeing it with actual photos. The mine stope itself was actually done by a Tucson business. I don't remember their name. Are you able to get this, Mark?
Yeah.
So look at the coloring is exactly what we would have expected to see, right? We're seeing coppers and we're seeing azurite, malachite, remnants left from the mining. It's just so, so beautiful. And then he had one of his sons actually did a full scale, let's see, there you guys go. So here is a full scale drawing of what happens under the ground of the whole mining shaft and the whole mining community that took place. Not only did he do this, but there is a wonderful, Jordan, go ahead. So he's actually turned it into an interactive. So when you click on the different places in the mine, it'll tell you what's happening. It comes with sound. So this is just one of the interactives that you'll find throughout the museum. But it's very, very cool. And if memory serves me, what's the depth? Do you remember?
Exactly 3,333 feet. So
Cool,
Mayor,
right?
Mayor, I'm sending you down to get the stones.
Good luck, because I think most of that's empty. I don't think that we get a whole lot out of there anymore. But Mayor, you're welcome to
Don't
come
tell
and try
Mayor
it
that.
anytime.
Don't tell Mayor that.
He just wants me down there.
Well, I want you down here too. Come on down. Okay, so now we're
I'm
actually
coming
entering
down.
the gallery space itself. And again, here we're going to be seeing everything in this gallery is Arizona and Mexico. And it has been beautifully put together. The collection that is actually owned by the University of Arizona, as well as some fantastic volunteers and some great donors that we have to thank. And we will be doing a thank you party for all of those people. So here, you know, you're going to be seeing wolfenite, azurite, cerussite. Right. And these walls just go on and on and on.
in this case, is designed that the further down you go, the closer into Mexico you get, and also the more diverse the minerals get as well.
And again, just beautiful video footage as well that takes place all throughout the museum. I would say that this is probably another 45-minute haul.
It depends. The nice thing in this particular room is there's something for everybody. So the minerals are beautifully displayed, but we also celebrate a lot of different aspects of our local heritage with rockhounding. And so that's featured in a lot of the different cases. So it honestly depends on your local Arizona interest. Because we do show rockhounding, we show young collectors in here.
Yeah, I'll run through that case here quickly. So here we have minerals of Mexico. And again, I know I'm going through this haul really fast, but I know people are limited on time and I don't want to miss the good stuff, which is in the gem hall in the Treasury. So this is all about rockhounding and gear that we would expect to be using for rockhounding. And just so you know, we were setting up during COVID and toilet paper was a very hard thing to get. So this roll, I will have you know, is not owned by the museum, it's on loan. Right? No,
Just in case you need it back.
yeah, just in case he might need it back. And then here we're going to go over and we're going to talk about some Arizona rockhounding clubs. So again, what a great place for, some people to be able to come and learn how to get involved in Arizona rockhounding or Mexico rockhounding. So this actually gives people an opportunity of, how to contact the Tucson Gem and Mineral Society, the Lapidary Clubs, the Maricopa County Lapidary Society, the Mineralogical Society of Arizona, the Flag Mineral Foundation. And these are all going to be done by local artists of the different societies, which I think is really cool. One of my favorite places in the museum is actually this case, which is the Young Collectors. Right. So our goal is for those of you who know Somewhere in the Rainbow, our goal, of course, is to educate and to bring on board that next generation and to create the excitement and the passion. So here we have minerals, we have specimens, and I do believe, so let's see, these are loaned by Keely Brown, Maggie Lyons, and then the Lauren McGaw collection. Many of you probably know Peter McGaw of the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show. All of the specimens here actually belong to his daughter, so they have all been collected by his daughter. So the apple definitely did not fall far from the tree there. Oh, there's Evan Jones. Hi, Evan. How's the pace? Are we going okay?
Doing good.
This case is actually the Les and Paula Presnick collection. And I just have to stop here for a minute because I have to give a shout out to Les Presnick, who is a volunteer, and he spent hours and hours, weeks and weeks and months helping to set up this gallery, move specimens, clean specimens. So if you know Les Presnick and you come across him, just give him a big hug and a huge shout out of thanks. Here's some beautiful pieces of petrified woods. And then this wall here is actually dedicated to one of our board members. Her name is Robbie McCarty, and Robbie collects thumbnails, only Arizona. So everything that we see on this wall that Robbie was kind enough to set up and loan is actually part of her thumbnail collection. And I'm just going to kind of zoom in here so you can see some of the beautiful colors and textures that actually come from Arizona. Aren't they lovely? Okay. And that pretty much sums up the Arizona, the Sonoran. Oh, I lied. Here's another fabulous wall dedicated to the Globe and Miami areas.
This wall is dedicated to byproducts of mining.
Oh,
So the minerals changed, evolved, responded to the mining process and have been altered in some way due to man being present, which is pretty unique. Up here we have a piece of copper that integrated with a wooden beam, which is a very hard specimen to find because miners often throw it away. But that's just evidence of how quickly copper moves in and integrates, because that occurred in less than 40 years.
wow. I didn't know that.
Yep.
See, I learn something new every time I come too. And here we're talking small mines. What does small mines mean?
That is
Mines that aren't very big. Don't answer that.
I think compared to an open pit, they're all small.
Yeah, and I love this little sparkly baby quartz on chrysocolla right here. Oh, it's so yummy. Okay, so here I'm just going to, I'm going to put you back on the cart because now we're going to talk a little bit about mining and the importance of mining. And one of the missions of the museum is for people to understand that if something can't be grown, it has to be mined, right? And that reclamation is important, and that yes, we do cause disturbance to Mother Nature through mining, but we also bring healing. We also bring reclamation. We learn so much from the soils and the dirts and the samples and the minerals. And without mining, those things aren't possible. So it's really important, I think, in today's world for us to talk about the importance of and the value of mining. So that's what this particular area is all about. There's a great video that is shown showing open pit mining. Our partnerships with people like Caterpillar, Free BHP, Freeport McMoran. So this is a really important, it's a small area of the museum, but I think it's a really important area of the museum. And again, we're a little far away to really be able to see the clarity of what's happening here. And as we travel down, so we're going to talk about the Freeport, McMoran, we're talking about mining being safe. We're talking about drones. And this photo, this graphic here that actually shows a mine shaft in Globe.
I believe so, it's the resolution line.
Yeah, it is 1 mile underground.
Near Superior.
Yeah, it's up near Superior in Arizona. So this is, here we are 1 mile underground. I just think that that is really, really cool. Again, just going to bring you down. And then of course, you know, we have to talk about, you know,
Mining the asteroid belt with OSIRIS-REx with the University of Arizona working with NASA to do more research on the asteroids. That's all I really know about that.
sounds good to me.
I'm not.
All right, so then we're going to talk a little bit about our interactives gallery. And I'm going to,
I'm so sorry they turned off.
okay,
at 5.
you're going to have to come and see the interactive gallery because they are on a timer and they've already shut down for the night. So they are sleeping and waiting for visitors tomorrow. But I'll just kind of walk you through here really quickly. So here you have an opportunity to interact with and touch the spheres, rose quartz, jasper, right? You actually get to have that tactile communication going on there. Here are just very common items from everyday life that they have a barcode, and as you scan the barcode, it'll come onto this screen and they will tell you exactly what's happening within salt, lipstick, the different minerals that are created for everyday products. So watches, toothpaste, pencils. And then it's all done with these beautiful graphics as well on the walls that kind of tell you what you should expect to see from calcite and quartz, solar panels. Mineralogy 101, what's magnetic and what's not, right? So again, very simple, but really important and very interesting for kids, right? So the whole idea is to attract that next generation. Here we do actual mineral identification. Feeling the difference. So these are all touchables. Right, again, we get to be very up close and personal. The molecular structures, or the crystal structures. And there's a fantastic video that's actually done on this little screen above us that was actually put together by a young kid. How old?
8th grade student.
8th grade student in Germany. And he actually takes you through the whole world of minerals and their formation. It's very, very cool. Again, you're gonna have to come and see it. Okay, so now I'm gonna take you into I'm gonna set you this way. So Jordan's actually gonna take you on a ride now, but we're actually gonna enter into the fluorescent hallway. And instead of having to push a button to see the different fluorescent materials, this one is on all the time. So you don't have to push any buttons unless you want to see what they look like when they're not fluorescing. And I know it's a little dark in here. Okay, so these are all Arizona specimens. Mark, how's my viewpoint there? So this is in regular daylight, right? Just regular light. And here we are.
They are exposed to long wave and short wave at the same time. And due to the integrity of the lights, we aren't able to completely turn them off when we do the daylight. But you do see how ugly they are in the day. They're much cooler to look at under the fluorescent.
And then here we have fluorescents from different places from around the world. Again, they're so beautiful, right? People are fascinated with fluorescence. And then these are gemstones that we would expect to fluoresce. So again, Jordan, I'm just going to ask you to hit the button.
Absolutely.
All right, so here we have different types of gemstone material. And there we are in fluorescence. And I know you're seeing some of my reflection going back there, but okay. So you've made it through all of the mineral people who look at all of us gem people and tell us that we are living on the dark side. So now I'm going to go ahead and take you into the light from the dark side, and we're going to enter the gem hall. So the gem hall is pretty much set up. I'm going to keep coming a little bit, Jordan, so we can get a little bit of light going. Okay. So the gem hall is actually a place that we're going to find a lot of objects of art. We're going to find the history of lapidary art. There's a lot of touchables. There's the crystal structure wall, and a lot of Gemology 101 takes place in this hall as well. Are you guys good here, or is it better if I'm carrying you along?
You're good.
You're good.
Good? Okay. So basically I'm going to start here, and Jordan, I'm just going to see if we can pull in. So everywhere throughout the museum that you see a touchable specimen, so here's a wonderful big piece of malachite. Then in the window, we not only want to show you the rough, but we also want to show you the finished. So here's a beautiful, beautiful box from Nikolai Medvedev, who is the leading artist in the world in production, if you will, called Intarsia. Nikolai actually lives here in Tucson. So throughout the museum, throughout the gem hall, I should say, you'll actually have an opportunity to see a lot of touchables and then finished product as well. So people can, again, associate rough to finished. This is a beautiful example here. This is an actual pocket that was found in Afghanistan. And Elizabeth, our exhibit specialist, was tasked with recreating this pocket. So, and again, I'm gonna just kind of lift you so we can get some of the glare off and we can see some of these up close. So we have kunzite, tourmaline, calcite, but this is an actual recreation of the gem pocket itself. I think it's so pretty. Okay. And here we talk about where gem crystals form. So that's what this wall here is all about. And again, you know, we look at Tanzania, that's extremely, extremely rich, all the way up to Egypt, which basically has almost nothing. We've got some peridot going on up there. Nigeria, that's very busy. Brazil, over here in South America, Colombia, the United States. And then, you know, it seems as though the further north we go on the globe, the less and less material that there is that's available.
But that's also because of mining conditions as you get to the polar ice caps, that it gets colder and colder and it's harder to mine and find.
Yeah, I don't want to go there. I'll stay right here in Arizona, guys. Okay, so then we're actually going to talk about crystals and the different crystal structures of gemstones. And here is a beautiful recreation of the molecular structure that we would expect to see within hexagonal, cubic, or hexagonal, sorry, cubic, some pyrite, some rutile, right? So again, we're going to go in through some Gemo 101. There's some beautiful wood models that have been recreated, and I'm just going to show you some of those. So for example, the cubic. And do you know who did the wood models?
That I'm not exactly sure. I know that the molecules were made, I believe, by the crystallography professor here at the University of Arizona, and he made them specifically for this display, and it took several hours. But beyond that, I don't have any trivia about this particular case.
Okay. I kind of caught Jordan off guard there. Okay, so when we think of jade, right, we think of beautiful jade, jadeite, right? But then this is the touchable for the jadeite. And we can see that it's really not very pretty. And it allows us to tell that story of how rocks aren't always pretty, but when you get inside of them, magic happens. And oh, I'm pulling my own cart now. God only knows where you might end up. So anyway, that's part of the story that we're going to tell as we go in through the gem hall. I'm going to stop here at the All That Glitters wall. There we go. All That Glitters. And here you can actually come and learn about color change,
Incandescent light and then daylight.
we can talk about iridescence.
There's rollers, so you can move around to see the lighting phenomenon within the stone.
Okay, so we have cat's eyes and stars and agilurescence and Schiller. Cool, right? Okay, and we show people how to use a magnifier. So here's a magnifier with different materials underneath that as you move it, of course, you can see down inside and you can see what's happening in calcite, agate, carnelian, amethyst, quartz.
This explains opaque, translucent, and transparent material.
The prisms.
We have a spectroscope where you can look inside, get a reading, and then we have 3 gemstones that you have to match your reading up to. So right here, within 10 seconds, you become an amateur gemologist.
I didn't, just want y'all to know.
And then showing how sparkles changes with different gem materials. We have cubic zirconia cut a few different ways, and showing the difference in diffraction with quartz, cerussite, and then CZ again. And then the trusty refractometer. So just like the spectroscope, you look inside and you get a reading, and then you have 3 stones to choose from. And you can find out which one you just read the RI on.
That's so cool. And in case there's a fire extinguisher right here. It's really important to know where your fire exits are, guys, when you're in a museum. Any questions so far? Comments?
It's a great museum.
Thank you.
Beautiful displays.
Thank you. We think so too. We think so too. Okay, so then we're going to get into gem cutting and how gems take shape. And again, here, forgive me, it's just easier for me to carry you here. Daryl Alexander was kind enough to actually show rough and then preforms and into polished of this smoky quartz material, and talking about how gemstones are cabbed. There's some fantastic carving tools. Oh, there we go. Is that better? Right. So here's some carving instruments for carving gemstones. Here we talk about how we get into carving of figurines. So the magic that happens from people like Patrick Dreyer, Andreas Roth, some of the famous carvers, and some fantastic up-and-comer carvers as well. Here we have a faceting machine. And, some of the different wheels that we would expect to see used. The heating of material and the importance that heating plays. And then this particular showcase is actually donated from one of our dear friends in the industry that I know many of you know, Doug Malby. And this is basically a story of American mining and American cutting. So here we have amethyst on top. Many of you will recognize names like Daryl Alexander, Dalen Hargrave, Aaron Sargento, Nick Alexander, right? So these are just some of our favorite North American gemstones and some of our favorite American gem cutters. Look at the Schiller on number 26. Can you guys see that? Hello. That's cut by Ryan Anderson. Ryan actually owns a claim of Oregon Sunstone. So that's what we're seeing here, which will then lead us to this case, which some of you guys really like. It's not my favorite because it's diamonds, but it is kind of cool. This is actually a cool story. And I'm going to ask Jordan to actually share some of this story with you.
Sure. So one of my favorite pieces in here from selling engagement rings, we have what I used to call a diamond certificate. So we have an example from Crown of Light of the different weights and different times that a certain diamond was cut down. So it started at, let's see, 9.22 carats and eventually made its way down to 8.48 by the time this particular diamond cutter was finished. And then behind Shelly, we have examples of the different stages of the diamond cutting process.
And if memory serves me, Crown of Light is one of the last diamond cutting sources that actually cut diamonds here in the United States.
So they are actually based out of Zambia, I believe.
Oh, I thought that they cut here in the United States.
They have a whole school, a whole diamond cutting school in Africa as well.
Oh,
too.
okay. Well, there we go. Some diamond cutting tools. But this is super cool. So Jordan, tell us about what we're seeing.
So this diamond cutting bench came right off of 47th Street in New York, straight off the Diamond District. And Crown of Light used this particular bench to cut diamonds 5 carat and larger, and said easily that this bench has seen over $1 billion worth of product.
Isn't that cool? I mean, even for the diamond world guys, that's pretty cool. Okay, so we're
$1
gonna
billion
move.
worth of Crown of Light,
I'm sorry?
$1 billion of Crown of Light cut diamonds
Yes,
specifically?
yes,
Wow.
cool. Super, super cool. So as we continue on in the gem hall, see the beautiful patina on the walls. Oh, there's the treasury. We're gonna get there in just a minute. But here we are in the gem hall. And we here are going to explore opaque, translucent, transparent throughout this particular gallery. So Jordan, do you have anything to add here?
I mean, there's a huge variety of material. We have gem carvings, which are amazing. And then we have a peridot suite that has some emotional background from Somewhere in the Rainbow, I believe, as well.
Yeah, so I'm going to stop here for just a minute. So the necklace and bracelet that we're looking at here are all from earrings and ring, but this particular tumbled bead set was actually the owner of Somewhere in the Rainbow. The wife had the opportunity to go to a jeweler with her grandfather when she was a young girl. And her grandfather bought these beads for her grandmother and presented them to her as an anniversary gift. So later, when Somewhere in the Rainbow actually began, I said, give me those beads. We are going to turn them into fabulous jewelry. And so they really do tell a story of, you know, how a young girl became fascinated in the world of gems. And this is all Arizona peridot. And here, of course, we have just a beautiful collection, great phantom quartz. I love this piece. Four Peaks amethyst right here. And if memory serves me, it's about 94. I think it's 94 carats. The importance of telling the story of jadeite. I'm hoping you guys can get these. So, you know, we all know that jade and jadeite gets increasingly more expensive with the slightest variation of colors. So this really, I think, is a great storytelling opportunity as to how you can go from commercial grade all the way into that beautiful imperial jade. And you can actually see side by side how that color change and that color play really play an importance to getting to the translucency and the transparency and the glow of really good jadeite. So we think that this is a pretty fantastic showcase. Here we also have beautiful carvings from Andreas Roth of The Last Supper. This is done out of Brazilian agate. It's extremely dimensional, but as he does the carving, you can see the relief of the different colors. So even though that's one piece of agate, we see the blacks, the blues, and the whites coming to life. So this is all opaques. So again, jade, mossitsit. And I think all of the pieces in these showcases, so these are all part of Somewhere in the Rainbow's loan to the museum. So I want to say probably what, about 90, maybe 90% of the gem hall is Somewhere in the Rainbow?
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, so that's most, so we did find a home, I guess is what I'm saying. Somewhere in the rainbow actually found a beautiful home. And again, just some of the beautiful gems and pieces of art that you'll get to see when you come. The hookah smoking caterpillar, which everyone loves, from Lynn Strelu. Translucent gems. And this, I have to tell you, is one of my very favorite pieces of quartz that I've ever seen. I've just never seen quartz of this color. I just love this piece. So we've got some Larimar, some dendritic quartz. So this piece, the feather that you see, is actually carved by Daryl Alexander for Somewhere in the Rainbow. It went on to become an AGTA Spectrum Award winner. It's finished in 18 karat gold with some sunstones, some diamonds. When Eric asked to use this piece on exhibit here in the museum, of course, you know, he pretty much had access to whatever the heck he wanted, but we had no idea that hiding in the collection of the museum, the U of A museum, was this beautiful piece of agate that they literally look like that feather was cut from this agate, but it was not. Moving in behind me, here is one of our personal favorite artists. And I'm sure many of you are already recognizing these pieces. This is all work from Paula Crevichet. And her beautiful renderings. This is her butterfly, flower, spider collection. And also today, Paula is actually opening a brand new exhibit in Dallas at the Perot Museum that will be on exhibit until April of 2022. So if you're going to be in Dallas, you can actually see the it's the exhibit of the 7 crystal structures. So you can actually see that at the Perot Museum starting tonight is their grand opening. So it's really fun to be here celebrating Paula today. We wish her great success in that exhibit with the Perot Museum. So good friends of ours at the American Jewelry Design Council were actually invited to also create a showcase here in the museum. And with the help of our friend Susan Helmich, we were able to put together one of their collections called The Secret Garden. And so the American Jewelry Design Council every year creates a piece of jewelry around a theme. And of course, everybody, they can use whatever materials they want. They can do any idea that they come up with. So this is the presentation of The Secret Garden from all of our friends at the American Jewelry Design Council. And I'm sure many of you will recognize many of these artists. And again, I'm just going to go through here really quickly. I don't even know where we're at for time. So Mark, if I need to speed up or whatever, just let me know.
Well, if anybody has to drop off because it's 8:30 here, that's fine. We're doing a great job though.
It's not even dark here yet. I just want y'all to know. We're still watching the sun go down. So these are all pieces out of The Secret Garden. And the materials here are unbelievable. So when they do these pieces, they're not available for sale. So the artists actually keep these pieces. And I said to Susan Helmich, I was like, well, why would they be hidden behind glass or be in a drawer or a vault somewhere? We need to bring these out and see them. So we're really, really thrilled to have the American Jewelry Design Council's pieces. And so many of our favorite beloved artists are featured here. I mean, look at that little gold snail on those beautiful, delicate turquoise flowers. Can you guys see that? It's just great. And then I'm going to step back because this case is big and bold. This is all the works of our beloved Nikolai Medvedev. This is all intarsia work. His boxes are famous all over the world. His work is sought out all over the world. Completely seamless, amazing techniques, super rich, bold colors. And in the octopus's arms here, this is actually a collaboration box that Nikolai did with Susan Helmich. And that giant little green stone right there is a North Carolina emerald. Hello. So beautiful. So before this case was set up, I had the opportunity to go and meet Nikolai in his home here in Tucson. And as I was walking through the house, I was noticing these beautiful works of art in paintings and these fantastic sculptures. And I said to Nikolai, who did all of these beautiful pieces? And he said, oh, those are my work from a previous life. And I said, Nikolai, nobody has any idea that you did painting and sculpting. We have to show these. He's like, oh no, they're not museum worthy. I said, oh no, they tell your story. And so I definitely think we should show them. So one of the things that we notice when we see Nikolai's painting, right, that's here, and you look at the colors that he uses in his intarsia work, you see that he is a very fluid artist in his use of color tones, whether he be painting or jewel work. And moving on from Nikolai, we're going to head over to Maine. And sadly, this video is not going because we're after hours and it's resting for tomorrow. But this whole showcase is dedicated to the mining and beautiful work being done in Maine. So this is all Maine mining. Go ahead, Jordan.
Yes, so this is the Havey Quarry that's based in Poland, Maine. And Jeff Morrison is the owner of this mine, and he's very particular about all of the tourmaline that comes out of his mine. If it has a finished point and it's terminated, it has to remain a mineral specimen. But if it comes out broken, then he allows it to be cut for jewelry.
Not sure how I feel about that, but okay. It's his mine, his rules.
Yes.
But the colors are really beautiful. Lots of blues, greens, beautiful pinks. And one of my favorite showcases also coming up here. This showcase is dedicated to the works of our German friends. And I'm going to go this way. So this particular piece is a window. And if we get in really nice and tight, you're going to see that the piece is done with it's all Brazilian agate. They're cut into 1 inch by 1 inch squares and half inch by half inch or half inch triangles and then fitted together. This piece was done for Somewhere in the Rainbow by Tom and Bernd. This is actually Bernd Moonsteiner. And the windows, the window is actually done with the agate that they cut for 8 years. And they made windows for their church in Stipshausen, Germany. And when you go into their church, they have these beautiful dome, curved windows that are, I think they're 8 feet tall and about 3.5 feet wide. And they're all done out of this beautiful gradient colors of agate. This next shelf is actually on loan to us by a private collector who wishes to remain anonymous, I do believe. Oh, no. He put his name out. These are all from Paul Harder. And this is an Andreas Roth collection of Andreas carved cameos. Some of them, no, they're all Andreas. There are none of his father's works here. Dieter Roth sadly passed away last year. So these are all his son's work. Andreas is the same artist who actually did the Last Supper agate that's over here. So this case is meant to tell the story of German cutting, German carving, and how it influenced so many American cutters and carvers to go on to do really spectacular work. So here we have Miss Julia. Julia is a toad carved from bicolor tourmaline from Gerd Dreyer, and she is named after Gerd's granddaughter, whose name is Julia. That's how she got her name. She wasn't named until we owned her, and then I told Patrick Dreyer that they had to name her. And he said, "What is it with you crazy Americans? Why do you insist on naming everything? Do you want a good German name like Olga?" I said, "No, she doesn't look like an Olga." So then he had to go. I said, why don't you let your mother name her? So that's how we actually got to Julia. Beautiful pyrite and quartz. Again, from the Moonsteiners. And this case, you're all gonna have to wait and see. But in this case, which has been donated to us by a wonderful woman, it's right now empty, but the next time you see this case and it's been populated, it will have a jeweled tapestry. It's actually the perfect dimension of a prayer rug. 1,242 diamonds for 511 carats, blue sapphire, pink sapphire, yellow sapphire, ruby, and emerald, totaling about 9, 10, 19, 20, about 22,000 carats of emerald, ruby, sapphire, and diamonds. It's all done in gold, and the gold work is alone about 32 pounds. So that's going to be a really spectacular piece. It's never been shown on an exhibit before, so we're really, really excited that the owner was kind enough to allow us to be able to showcase it for at least a year. We're hoping for 2 years. Real quickly, we're going to go over to the world of synthetics and the importance of synthetics, lab-grown treated diamonds, reconstructed gems such as turquoise, synthetic sapphires, quartz, spinel, cubic zirconia, moissanite, joined together. I like that. So different composites, of course. And this is the first year of Lapidary Extravaganza that I'm sure those of you who follow me on social media know that we do this event every year with Flame Fusion Boule that is donated by Baron Stefan in Germany. And basically it's done to show how every gem artist can get the same piece of rough and how they interpret it in their own styles and their own stories. So that's what that is all about. And here, these guys are all silver specimens. And the silver was actually found right here in Arizona by somebody who was out with a metal detector. And we're very, very happy that the owner chose to give them to us on loan. So this is what silver looks like in its raw form. I probably would have walked right past it and thought, well, that's not very pretty, but it's pretty spectacular. Okay, one more haul to finish and we are good to go. So I'm just gonna kind of turn you around. You're back on the cart. I'm going to turn you around and bring you to this beautiful wall here, which is all gorgeous gold and silver and copper specimens. So we have gold. And then I'm going to move around my own cart. And here we have copper. So it's a really beautiful wall that when you walk in, this is what you see, and there is the front door of the museum. So when you walk in through the front door, this is what you see first. And then you walk around the corner and you see that big, beautiful Arkansas crystal, and that's it, it's over. Any questions as we're moving to the Treasury? Questions, comments? Nobody's talking to me. Somebody talk to me.
We're all in awe. It's just amazing.
Thank you. It really is. You know, I have to tell you, I've had the opportunity to be down here so many times, and every time I come, I learn something new. I see something new. I see something that excites me in a totally different way. And you know, Somewhere in the Rainbow owners are truly magnificent human beings who have done so much for the world of gemology through their collecting and through their passion. So it's just a real honor to be part of this particular facility. And here we are going to enter the Treasury. And of course, this is probably the place that is nearest and dearest to my heart. And when you come in, you see this gorgeous ceiling that appears as though you are looking through a faceted gemstone. And here are the showcases. So of course, one of the things that we know that everybody in the world of gems loves is their birthstones. So we actually have a wall that's dedicated to birthstones. And the thing that I love about this that Eric really thought through, for those of you who don't know, Eric Fritz is our museum director. So when I'm talking about Eric, I'm actually referring to Eric Fritz. But I love the fact that Eric really thought through birthstones well, and the fact that he thought of not only the traditional birthstones, but the alternate birthstones that we use as well. So for June, we showcase pearl, and we showcase alexandrite, and we showcase moonstone. For August, we showcase peridot, and we showcase spinel. And December is zircon and turquoise and tanzanite. So this is the birthstone wall. And it goes on to, actually have print material as well, going back to calendar months beginning in the mid 17th century and became popular in the United States at around 1912. And one of the things that I love about the content, the written content that's in the museum, is that they made it short, sweet, educational, and easy to understand. You don't have to stand in front of a wall for 3 hours reading. They want you to get right into the viewing of the beautiful gems, jewelry, minerals, and objects of art. So I really love that. And of course, here we have the layout of the famous 9. So if you are a lover and follower of our astrological calendar, then you're going to actually find your information here. And the precious metals, again, here we are in the golds, the silvers, and the coppers. So this is the wall as it's viewed from the other side. And number 15 is my favorite because it reminds me of The Nightmare Before Christmas. The nightmare of Halloween, with the nightmare of whatever, but that's what it reminds me of. I love that piece. So here we have, this is all Michigan, by the way. The copper that I'm showing here is all Michigan. This showcase here is actually dedicated to the Crown of Light. This is some of their jewelry pieces using the diamonds that they have actually cut. Mark, I'm walking backwards with the laptop, so if I'm not at a good angle, somebody just tell me. I can't
Angle's
necessarily
good. Angle's good.
see what, okay, I can't necessarily see what you're seeing, but so this is all dedicated to the Crown of Light, and I have to tell you, they have become really good friends of our museum. We're very, very proud to have their pieces showcased. So in setting up the Somewhere in the Rainbow exhibit in this museum, it was really important to me to not only showcase some of my personal favorite pieces, some of the amazing works of art that have been done for us by different artists from all over the world, but it was also really important to tell the story of the lives that have been touched through our collecting of gemstones and jewelry. So I hope that as you go through this gallery, you will not only see some, some fantastic jewels, but that you will see the collection of lapidary artists, miners. I always have this saying that Mother Nature gives us rocks, lapidary artists give us gemstones, and designers and jewelers give us heirlooms. And so with that, all of those elements work so closely together, and we can't have one without the other. So that's one of the things that I hope that people will recognize when they walk through this gallery in particular. So I'm just going to start over here with tourmaline. And again, I'm going to turn you around and tell me if that, are we good?
Need to go a little lower.
A little lower. How's that?
That's good. Good.
So here what you're seeing is the largest canary tourmaline that we know of, faceted canary tourmaline in the world. It weighs in at exactly 30 carats. It comes from Africa. And the collar is done in platinum and 18 karat green gold from Eddie Sakamoto. Look at the color of that rubellite. It's like, hello. Paraiba tourmaline. The lavender is also copper bearing. Feel free to stop me at any point to ask questions. One of the things that I love that Eric and Elise Mizorowski is actually responsible for the layout of this gallery. Although Somewhere in the Rainbow has the majority of the pieces here, she actually did the design and layout, and it's really spectacular. But I love the fact that she actually introduced the mineral to the finished gemstone. She did loose and finished, which I really love. And of course, there's the queen. The 15 karat Paraiba from the Batalha mine in Brazil. The blues are fantastic. And I'm just walking quickly by the pieces that we've already seen. This particular side, of course, we have fantastic rubellite. We have copper bearing green Mozambique from Adam Neely. The stone actually came to us from the Bridges private collection. So it's just a little over 20 carats. And then the neck piece was done by Adam Neely. The green neck collar is actually titanium. The two bracelets show every color of Paraiba tourmaline that came from the Batalha mine in Brazil. Oops, sorry, I just ran you into the glass, guys. The bracelets were actually done by H. Stern. We know that the stones were cut by Carl Egon in Germany of the Wild and Petch Company. The stones, when they were cut, were actually sent back to H. Stern, who set them in these very simple platinum bracelets. They sat in a woman's private collection for a number of years. And finally, they came to us through a pawnbroker. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Now, he's a really well-educated, really brilliant pawnbroker, but he's really, that's his business. So sometimes you never know what's hiding out there. Hi, Jordan. Hi. There you are. We're going to take you into the lovely world of topaz. Telling a little bit about the story of topaz, the rarity of topaz. Here we have fantastic imperial topaz and a great crystal from Burma. And I'm actually going to walk this side of the showcases first. I'm going to kind of bump you around a little bit, and then we'll walk the other side, which will be easier than me spinning you round and round in circles. So we start with tourmaline, we go to topaz, from topaz, we go to garnet. Again, if my angles are not right, Mark or Mayor, please tell me. We feature Tsavorite up front and the different colors of Tsavorite and green grossular.
Drop it a little.
Is that
That's
good?
good.
There you go. Thank you. Yeah, yeah.
And here we talk about the chrome pyrope garnet or the anthill garnet. For those of you who have sat through my presentation on North American gems, you know the story of the anthill garnet. If you haven't sat through that presentation, I would be happy to present it. Just give me a call and we'll come to your store and we'll talk all about North American gemstones. But this is actually chrome pyrope garnet from Arizona. And it was discovered because of the mining of ants. From garnet, we come to spinel. And I love, love, love this suite. So the earrings came to Somewhere in the Rainbow first. We had no idea that there were additional pieces. About 3 years later, this necklace made an appearance at a gem show in Hong Kong, along with the ring. And we were able to acquire an entire set that later we found, we received the story on 17 years of collecting rough to cut this suite. Love, love, love that. From spinel, we come to one of everybody's favorites, corundum. The different colors, the different variables of corundum, sapphires, rubies, which I have to tell you, of all of the rubies in the Somewhere in the Rainbow collection, this one, number 14, is my favorite. It comes from Tajikistan. And it's just so bright. It's so bright and pretty. And again, we talk about the corundum mineral species with the beautiful samples of minerals on top. Again, I think that Elise and Eric chose really, really beautiful samples of colors to really showcase the diversity of the world of corundum. Although there's only 2 gemstones in that world, it's so diverse in color. So that educational component, I think, is great. From corundum, we go to zoisite. And of course, zoisite only coming from Tanzania. Okay, I have a question here. I'm going to stop. So when you sell zoisite in your stores, if it's any color other than that beautiful rich blue violet that we all love, do you sell it as fancy zoisite or do you sell it as tanzanite?
Well,
Marty?
I sell it as tanzanite, but depends on how light the color is.
Okay, what if it's green or pink or yellow or blue only? Is it tanzanite or is it fancy zoisite?
I see your point.
And I don't know that there's a right or wrong answer. It's just fun to see how people perceive it. Marty, how do you do it?
I haven't really had the opportunity to sell anything other than the typical, deep purples. But I was lucky. I picked up a 10-gram piece of rough last week, which was really exciting. It's really cool.
Oh, that is really exciting. Mariel, thank you for your question. No, Savorite is garnet, and zoisite, if it were green, would be green zoisite. I would not call it green tanzanite. I would call it green zoisite, but Savorite is actually from the garnet family. Did I see another question pop up there?
The interesting thing is now they have this green amethyst.
No, they don't.
Green quartz, they're marketing as green amethyst. The customer came to me a couple of years ago and asked me for green amethyst. I looked at her, I said, I'm not sure what you just asked me.
Yeah,
So I went green amethyst. You mean you want green
Crazy
quartz? Green amethyst. Well, the marketing name of amethyst, like tanzanite, works.
right.
So for gem nerds, zoisite is very exciting, but to a consumer, fancy zoisite, I'm not sure. Depends on the client.
Interesting. Marty, the next time I come your way, I would be happy to come and do a tanzanite extravaganza in your store.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
That. Hey, listen,
Okay.
Then
if we
What's
still
that?
call, if we just still called tanzanite zoisite, I don't know if anybody would be interested in it.
Oh, of course they would. Okay,
I'm kidding.
I'm gonna turn you back around and we're gonna go from zoisite that we were just talking about, of course, and we're gonna go to beryl. How's my angle there, guys?
A little lower. A little lower. Good.
Good, okay. So of course, morganite in the pink, red beryl from the Wawa Mountains of Utah in the red. This particular one is really cool because there's a Bixbyite inclusion within the Bixbite, which is just kind of fun. It's just fun to say, unless you've been drinking and then you can't say it at all. Of course, beautiful aquamarine. The necklace that you see is actually a gem that was featured in the museum, the Natural History Museum in Philadelphia. They closed a wing of that museum, and we were able to acquire this 57-carat Santa Maria. Eddie Sakamoto just fell in love with the piece and created this necklace. The necklace is all hand fabricated. There's no CAD work there. There's nothing but hand fabrication there. And the piece weighs a little over a pound of platinum. However, I have to tell you, when you wear it, the weight completely just disappears. You do not even realize that you have a pound of platinum on your neck, but it feels really good. And we walk around this pillar here, and again, we're still at beryl. So now we're talking about emeralds. The necklace here in the center was actually created by the first woman to ever be recognized with an American Gem Award. Her name was Martha Ann Gilchrist. The emerald set in the center is a no treat, no oil North Carolina emeralds, with Columbia sitting next to it. And of course, our Heliodors and our Goldens are in this showcase here. The monster in the necklace is 175 carats of green beryl from the Moonsteiners in Germany. Number 7 is Larry Woods from Texas, which is an AGTA Spectrum Award-winning piece. Interestingly, number 10, which is something that we never hear of, is a fantastic golden beryl that comes from Finland. And then, of course, that great Heliodor crystal from the Ukraine. So as we go around this corner now, we're back at other colors of zoisite. So there are purples and blues, lavenders, mixed colors. Also zoisite in peach, one of the rarest colors, which is the pink in the necklace on top. And this fabulous magenta, hot, hot magenta. So each of the cases in the museum in the Treasury are 4-sided. So as you walk around them, you'll see the same gemstone, same species on all 4 sides, which is really beautiful. Number 12 is fantastic. It's exactly half green and half blue. I just love that stuff. More corundum. Back to spinel. We're now on the other side of spinel. Jordan, do you have a favorite in the museum?
My favorite
In the Treasury, I should say.
is the spinel suite, but I do have a fun little greenstone behind me that we're very excited about.
It's a secret. You guys are the first ones to see it. All right, so we're gonna just kind of scoot along here, but basically here we are on the other side of spinel. And I'm just going to do a call out here. That beautiful color change spinel number 13 at the top in the ring is from our dear friends at Coffin and Trout Jewelers. Catherine, I don't know if you're on the call, but shout out to our friends at Coffin and Trout. We love you guys. The other side of garnet. Beautiful mandarins. Color change, topaz, Victor Tuzlakoff cutting, another fantastic Coffin and Trout piece in that bracelet. The colors of that topaz are just crazy good. Beautiful red topaz, which is actually extremely rare. For those of you who are old enough to know who Henry Dunay is, on the top, you find a fantastic 34 karat pink, no heat topaz set in a ring designed by Henry Dunay for Somewhere in the Rainbow. And Henry did that piece for us, I believe, in his 80th year. And then we have some beautiful blues. Ring from Bellari, gem facet by John Dyer from John Dyer Gems. We've seen the other side of tourmaline, so I'm going to kind of pass by that. And we're going to go over and look at some organics. How are we doing? Are you guys staying with me?
I'm here.
We're still here.
Mayor's here, Marty's here, Mark's here.
Yeah,
Oh,
Shelly, I just
Gail.
wanted to let.
Randy, looks like Randy Coffin's here, so.
Oh, hi, Randy. Oh, I just got done saying hello to you. Okay, yes, somebody was just telling me it's getting late on the East Coast. So very quickly, when you come to the museum, you'll get to see a beautiful array of organics, pearls, corals, ivory. Some gorgeous organic replacements. Fossilized coral, dinosaur bones, amylite. The world of trapeaceae, known best by Jeffrey Bergman, who actually was kind enough to donate this entire collection of trapeaceaes to the museum. So we're very thankful to Jeffrey, as well as he gave, I don't even know how many sample pieces for our students to study. So these are exotic gems, things that really don't fall into any family, but they definitely make up a big part of our gem world. Rhodochrosites, sphenes, scheelites, puditerite, danburite, chrysoberyls, kyanites, fluorites, hiddenite. There's a lot of ites going on. You notice that? A lot of ites. Zircon. And of course, no exhibit would be complete without a showcase of phenomenon. So here you will find a whole showcase of phenomenon: stars, alexandrites, cat's eyes, moonstones, opalized clamshell, trapeche. And I'm going to allow Jordan to take you on the tour of our final piece in the Gem Hall, because it just went on exhibit 3 days ago.
Yes.
So I'll tell you the story. I'm going to let her give you the perception of this piece from a museum standpoint, and then I'll fill you in on the story as I can. So Jordan, it's all
Oh,
yours.
Goodness. So this piece is very, very new to us. I still have to do some research on it, but I don't know about you, but I haven't seen many garnets with quite that personality. So this is called the Lion of Miralani, one of the largest faceted Tsavorite garnets on record, and it was faceted right here in North America.
Yeah, so what you're looking at is a gemstone that, oh, doggone, I hope we can get some light. Oh, there we go. How's that?
Good.
It dances.
It does dance. It's really hard to capture it because it's constantly in I mean, look at that. It looks like kryptonite, for goodness sakes. So the gemstone that you're looking at is the largest faceted cushion cut Tsavorite garnet in the world. It's exactly 26 millimeters by 26 millimeters. It weighs 116.76 carats. The rough was found in the Miralani Hills of Tanzania, weighed in at about 283 carats, and was fashioned by Victor Tuzlakoff right here in Tucson, Arizona. So Victor was actually brought over to live with the Bruce Bridges family for a month. And he cut the stone and faceted it right here in Tucson. So it is the largest faceted gemstone of its kind to be cut in the United States. It's also the largest cushion cut on record ever. You'll only get to see it on loan here at our museum until the Gem Show of 2022. So you want to get here and you want to see it, because then after that, if you want to see it, you're going to have to go to the Smithsonian. It will actually take up permanent residency at the Smithsonian after the Gem Show of 2022. So part of the agreement in the gifting to the Smithsonian was that it got to come here first. And Bruce Bridges is a graduate and alum of the University of Arizona, as is his wife. So it was great that the piece actually got to come here first. So we're really excited to feature it. And you were literally probably the first group to get to see it on exhibit. So as you can see, the signage isn't even done yet. And pretty much that concludes our tour of the Alfie Norville Gem and Mineral Museum. And I thank you all on the East Coast that stayed up so late. I know it's late. I hope you got to have a nice glass of wine or a beverage while you were touring along with us. For those of you who, it's late there, I still have to drive home 2 hours tonight. So, and it was worth it to come down and to get to see all of you. Any questions? Anything that Jordan or I could answer as we are getting ready to find our way out the front door?
Is-
Oh, Wait a minute, Jordan, one thing. Can you get to the lights?
To the lights in here?
Oh, hold on. Oh, Gary, you're welcome. Thank you. I can't wait to see you here next year. Okay, so here we go. This is what happens in our gem treasury.
Little bit of mood lighting for you.
The lights go out and the ambiance comes up, right? It becomes a very romantic storytelling place. Isn't that great? I love that part.
Very cool. Very cool.
Still doesn't top that garnet.
What's that?
Still doesn't top that garnet.
Yeah, that garnet is really spectacular. So I have to tell you, this story, I don't even, I have to be very careful because there's certain parts of the story that I can't even tell yet. Because the stone doesn't belong to us here, it actually belongs to the Smithsonian. So there are some great secrets about that stone that will come out, and it's really a fascinating piece of Mother Nature's history and art, and Victor Tuzlakoff did a fantastic job bringing it to life. So I just see it set in a crown. I'm thinking, you know, just right here on top of my head would be great. Questions, comments, anything that comes to your mind?
Shelly, I just want to say thank you so much for doing this behind the scenes. It was really nice to see before we come to Tucson.
Well, thank you so much. I don't know who's talking to me.
It's Mariel. I met you at New Approach with
I
the
was gonna
Cartier
say,
Bamboo.
yes, Mariel, it's really nice to hear your voice. I hope to get back to New Approach very, very soon.
Yeah.
Blaine and I have been in talks, so I hope to get back and see you guys really soon.
And I do have a quick question. If I have an idea for of something that should be on exhibit or some sort of like short exhibition, who can I contact?
You can contact me and I will forward you directly to Eric Fritz, who is our museum director. Or you could contact Eric directly. I just want everybody to know that he is slammed and busy, busy, busy. Not only is the museum open and we're running tours and things to the museum, but our first graduating class with their degree in earth sciences, geosciences with emphasis in gemology, those students are here, and he is also teaching labs. So 21, so in 2025, we'll have our first graduating class. And I have to tell you, we have 19 students for our very first year. So it's so exciting. So Mariel, by all means, feel free to reach out to me. I know that you know how to reach me either on social media. For those of you who need me, Shelly, SHELLY, at somewhereintherainbow.com. You can always catch me there. Jordan, I can see you were going to say something.
You can also go on our website, and all of the staff's contact information is there if you have any questions as well too. Susan Leib is our curator, and we'll be handling a lot of the donation and loans questions. Eric has a little bit of vacation time he has to use before the end of the year, so Susan will be the main contact for the rest of 2021.
There we go. Go to the website. What is the website?
I believe it is, I'll pull it up right now, so it's super accurate.
Okay, so while she's doing that, any other questions? Anything special that you saw that just made you go, wow?
Yeah, the whole museum.
Thank you.
Absolute Smithsonian
Everything.
quality.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, I have to say, we have been really honored within the gem and mineral communities and academia to be called a truly world-class museum. And it's taken a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get here, but the vision was amazing, the dedication, the commitment of the staff. Just so you all know, this is done with 4 people on staff at this museum. 4.
Incredible.
We're busy.
They're busy. So when you see them, bring, you know, donuts, bring coffee, bring high fives, bring whatever, but know that this is all being done right now with a staff of 4, and 1 is out on maternity leave. So now there's 3.
So you definitely need more coffee and donuts.
Yeah, exactly.
Some wine, am I allowed to say?
Wow, now they want to drink. Now they want to drink.
I'd want to drink too, let's just be clear.
So the website is gemandmineralmuseum.arizona.edu.
Holy moly, Gem and Mineral Museum.
.arizona.edu. If you type in Gem and Mineral Museum, University of Arizona, we pop up.
Okay, did you catch all that?
Well, I think it's easier to just email you, Shelley.
It's probably easier to email me, and I will be happy to forward your emails on, because God knows I don't have anything to do during the days.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Also, that aqua crystal, I thought that was incredible.
Wow, I
I can
know, isn't
imagine all
it?
the things it could be. I'm thinking,
Yeah,
aqua,
it's-
how could it be? It's so intense.
Yeah, it is so intense. And when you see it, it's even more like it. Every corner that you turn, you're going to run into something that is just going to boggle your mind and really make you stop and think and appreciate everything that Mother Nature does for us, and then what artisans do once they get those fabulous pieces in their hands. So, yeah. Oh, there it is. There's the link to the website, in case you can grab it off of there. Just so you know, down below me is an entire another floor of the museum where all of the classes take place. GIA was kind enough to partner with us, and they have donated all of our desktop materials, microscopes, anything that you need for your classroom study that has all been donated by GIA in our classroom downstairs. So we're really thankful to GIA for their partnership, their dedication to continuing education in the field of gemology. And so big shout out to our friends at GIA. There's a library downstairs for all of you who would love to make a great donation to our library. Feel free to reach out to me if you have extra books, signed books, whatever. We are putting together a fantastic reference library downstairs. We do have a lab space downstairs, so there's an actual lab that we still need some money to get everything in there that we need, but it will come, right? Build it and it will come. There's a fantastic conference room downstairs, beautiful storage, archives, records, and there's a fantastic photo taken from the rover of Saturn that when you see it, it actually looks like the deserts of Arizona. So that's really cool too. I'm going to sign off unless there's anything else. I know it's getting late for many of you. Thank you for hanging in. Thank you for staying with us. I hope that it was worth it for you and that you wake up in the morning and know that we are here in Tucson waiting to see you all, to visit with you all. Somewhere in the Rainbow will not have a booth at the AGTA show this year for 2022 because I have decided to dedicate my entire week of the gem show to the museum. So I will be here probably disinfecting touchables and cleaning glass right back where I started in the business, which is a pleasure. So I look forward to meeting all of you and seeing you all again. Jordan, you've worked a really long, hard day. Thank you to Jordan. I'm gonna let her sneak in here and just have a wave and say thank you so much to Jordan. It's been a long day for her and she has to be back tomorrow. So
Thank you guys. You did a terrific job.
thank you all. And thank you for coming along on this traveling Zoom, which has never been done before, but I think was done successfully.
It was done very
much
well.
so.
Very
Thank you.
well.
Thank you all so much. Have a great night. See you all soon.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Yes.